Alright, well hey everybody, GrimmGreen from GrimmGreen.com, back here today shooting in the daylight, and I know that I'm going to have this big hot spot right here from my window. That's all natural light. Unfortunately, there's not enough wax paper in the world to cover that whole window to sort of diffuse it. But regardless, I'm here, I'm back in the vape layer, doing what I do. First up for the Monday double feature on the old chopping block. This is the new and updated version of the Volcano Inferno. Highly decent performance. So this video is kind of going to be more for the newer person or someone who is looking at something like an ego type of device, like something smaller with maybe its own tank, something a little bit more streamlined, not like this big honkin' mod type of thing. But yeah, VolcanoEcigs have been in the vape world, in the industry, and part of the community for a very, very long time. They were at the second ever Vape Fest. This is way back in 2010. So they've been around forever. They're an established brand that have high quality products. In my opinion, I've never thought negatively of Volcano. I've always seen them as pretty much a staple of the e-cig industry, and they've grown by leaps and bounds, and they continue to release very cool products, not just for beginner users, but also for, you know, somewhat of advanced users, if you will, or more veteran vapors, if you will. But they recently re-released the Inferno kit. So I bought an Inferno kit many years ago for my brother, and back then it wasn't nearly this fancy. He still uses it. Back then it was kind of just like an ego-ish battery. It didn't have a cool tank. It didn't have a replaceable head inside the tank. It didn't have any of that fun stuff. But he used it. He used it and used it and used it. And I think that's the device that actually ended up getting him away from cigarettes. And not to go into a whole big thing here, my brother was a dual user for about a year. He would vape some and smoke some. And to me, that is still a win. And he finally made that full switch to vaping. And I believe it was due to his Inferno. And his battery just looks shredded now, like it is destroyed. The paint is off of it. Still works, and he still uses it. So, pardon me. Again, Volcano has updated the design and technology of their Inferno. It's more of a bottom coil clearomizer style now, and it's actually a little bit aspire-ish. We're going to go up close real fast. I'm going to take it apart, show you how to refill it, and yeah, we're going to talk about it some more. And I apologize. These up-close videos that I just shot, for some reason the audio is on them is a little bit weird. Like you can hear the fan on the computer, which is weird. I don't know if it was capturing from my microphone or from my webcam, but otherwise, either way, the audio quality is not amazing. I'm going to try to fiddle with it later and get it sounding okay, but for now, I noticed that I wasn't very impressed with it. So let's go to some disappointing quality audio, uppy-closey time.
Okay, there is really not going to be much to see up here. It looks like the traditional Ego style Inferno that Volcano has always sold. Comes with a drip tip, comes with the tank. I'm actually going to fill up this tank because, as you can see, it's quite empty. Here's the battery, has a 510 connection on it, which is to say if you have this battery and maybe you don't like this tank, any other 510 compatible tank or atomizer should fit and work well on here. The battery is only 3.7 volts. It's got that very bright LED light in there. Charges on the bottom via USB, via almost full-size USB. It's like mini USB. It looks big. It's the same one that the Opus D uses. There's a couple of mods out there. The Vapor for Life Vapor Zeus uses the same connection, the same USB. Put the bottom cap back on once it's charged, and you basically have a seamless looking device, little Volcano logo on there. So I'm going to take this base off of the tank and fill it up with some juice. So the base just unscrews. All the airflow holes are around the base of the tank. There's 4 of them. And inside is your somewhat aspire-y looking atomizer head. Hang on one moment while I get a rag because I don't want to get juice everywhere. But this comes out, and as you can see, it looks different than the Aspires. It's got many more holes in it. It's got a different connection. Rip Trippers, the challenge is on you to rebuild this. I don't feel that it's possible, but hey, you know what? You never know. Your coils reside in there, and your base is where everything gets plugged into. Okay. So we're going to put the head, which are, repurchasable. They come in little blister packs. We're going to put the head back into the base. Don't want to crank it down like, so that I can't ever get it out, but you want to make it nice and snug in there. And then we take the tank, and when you're filling up the tank, let me grab my juice. Hold please, stand by, as Russ would say. When you're filling up your tank, you don't want to overfill it. Can you kind of see on the inside that... I'm not going to be able to see back there. Not going to be able to see it. There's a post back there, and it goes from very thin to just a little bit wider. You want to fill it up to just below that very thin mark. I will attempt to demonstrate as best I can. Filling up the tank. So I'm just squeezing the juice, not wheezing the juice. 80s kids will get that reference. Oh, and it's going to take a while to fill up. Oh, you see the liquid level rising. So yeah, that's about as full as I want to fill it. Right there. Can you kind of get an idea of where that is? Maybe a little bit more wouldn't hurt. That's about as maximally full as you want to fill it. As you see the juice level, you see the post right there, so that when you plug this back on, that post is going to go into that tiny little hole on top. Come on now. Down, and now we have a tank with liquid. If this is the first time you're filling it up, maybe let it sit just a little bit to soak in there. What you can do is take some dry toots to get the juice flowing a little bit. But you reattach this to your battery, and now you're ready to vape it. So yeah, that's it in a tiny little nutshell up close. Let's get back out to normal view.
So yeah, as you can see, it's pretty straightforward. There's a little replaceable head in there that you can buy in blister packs when yours burns out or dies, or the flavor becomes off or weird or starts tasting like socks or cardboard, which does happen. You just take it apart, you take that head out, you replace it, you put it back together, and it's all in a nifty little package like this. This is the 900 milliamp hour or mAh battery. It comes in a smaller 600 milliamp hour or mAh battery. Basically, more mAh or milliamp hours. I have to say that every time. The bigger that number is, the longer that you will be able to vape in between charges. Like I showed in the up close, it charges via a little USB connection in the bottom. You just take this little tiny little cap off, and there's a little USB in there, and it's great, and you can just charge it. I've shockingly enjoyed using this. It's not on par with like a KayFun. It's not on par with like rebuildable atomizers with big airflow holes and sub-ohm coils. You know what I mean? You're not going to be changing weather systems with the amount of clouds that you produce from this, but it is a very, very satisfying vape. And I'm always excited when I see something for a newer person that performs well and performs consistently, because those kind of things don't really exist. We were just discussing this last night at the vape meet. You kind of have to earn your vape. And there's people who will get their first vape and they'll become very disenchanted with it. They'll be like, I have to refill it. I have to change the heads. I have to prime it. What does priming a wick mean? So this is right up that person's alley, so to speak. It's not ridiculously expensive. The flavor is very nice. The little head in there crackles. It crackles like a cartomizer, like you can actually hear the juice being vaporized. The tank holds enough liquid. It holds roughly 2.5 mils, I believe, of liquid, which is, if you're a heavier vapor, that might not get you through the day. It gets me through the day with no problems, especially when I'm at work, because I vape so little at work. But you can see it when you're filling it up. You fill it up, you just do it, and it's easy. If it's your first time, like I said in the uppy closer, you might want to let it sit for a little bit to kind of soak up the juice, or you might want to take some dry toots. Just don't push the button and go like this. That'll kind of get the juice flowing a little bit more. You might often see little bubbles coming up, and that's juice going into that coil head. It's just a 3.7 volt battery. It's not variable wattage, it's not variable voltage, but you know what? You don't really need that. This is a 1.8 ohm head in there, and with 3.7 volts, it performs highly decent. I mean, highly decent. This is a 50-50 juice. This is Atlanta Peach Leaf, and it has 50% VG in it. So even with that thicker juice, it's still wicking really well. If you had even thinner of a juice, if you had a higher PG ratio in there, like the thinner juice, it would probably wick even better. Doesn't get gurgly on me. It doesn't get burny on me. That's not completely true. It gets burny sometimes. Overall, the juice flows really well, but occasionally I do have to do those dry, like, to get the juice flowing just a little bit. To me, it's better to have a dry wick than a flooded wick, because I hate gurgly. I hate it when juice leaks out all over the place from being flooded. And to me, if I occasionally have to go to get the juice flowing, that's much better than going, oh, juice everywhere, oh, it's leaking, oh god, and you take it apart and you have to clean it and wipe it and flick it around into a paper towel and refill your tank, and it's just a nightmare. So to me, if you're going to err on one side, it should be the dry side, because you can always add juice. It's much easier to add juice than to subtract juice. That's what I got. It's the Volcano Inferno. I'll have a link to it in the description to this video. $80 will get you a full kit, and I think for the novice or first time vapor, even if you want something a little bit more stealthy, maybe something you can take to a casino or bar, I took this to the casino and the bar, and that's why I say that, because it's a tiny little thing that's a little bit less conspicuous than, say, you know, something like this. You just set this down on the blackjack table. Yeah, you're like, hey, deal me in. Boom, you like my giant detonator box? I'm going to blow vapor all over you. Yeah, that's what it is. It is what it is, and it's the Inferno from Volcano. I'll have a link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, and as always, let's keep on vaping.